Hello everybody and welcome back to the Kingdom Hearts 3 playthrough. So, Larxine's kind of trapped us in a gigantic frozen ice labyrinth. Which
we can't stay in here.
Is certainly not what I was expecting to see in my frozen world. And I'm pretty sure a lot of other people were not expecting this to appear. And
clearly,
irritatingly, this does take up quite a chunk of the level. I mean, admittedly, it is nice to have something that is not the mountain. Don't get me wrong. But it is very dank and oppressive, and despite the fact that, you know, really you're just going up, it is surprisingly easy to get a little bit lost in this labyrinth. I mean, it's a labyrinth, so I mean, hey, it's hardly surprising. But there have been a few theories about this whole labyrinth, because obviously it doesn't quite make sense that Larxine made this out of sort of using her electricity powers to move ice, because that works. But there is a theory, it was on Game Theory, I'm sure it's been elsewhere as well, that originally this particular area was going to be sort of inside Elsa's tower, inside her castle, which obviously hasn't been built yet, and that Nomura perhaps wanted to explore more of that duality and the battle between goodness and darkness that sort of takes place within Elsa throughout the course of the film, and sort of have that a little bit more directly, I suppose, dealt with. So, like, she'd trap us in here and we'd have to sort of fight our way out, and at the end of it we'd have a boss fight, and then, you know, she'd realise that love will thaw and it's all okay. I think that's what they perhaps initially planned. I think that it's a valid enough idea. I can't see sort of anything that would inherently contradict that, because it does admittedly feel very out of place where it appears. I mean, it's in keeping with Larxine to create something that's fiendish and awful and that nobody quite likes, because nobody really likes Larxine because she's just a bit of a cowbag. That's part of the reason why I do sort of like Larxine, is that she's just such a cowbag, and she loves the fact that she's a cowbag, that I can't hate her for that as a character. And also her VA is just absolutely on point. They got Chanel Grey back to voice Larxine, and yeah, she just goes full pelt into the sarcasm, and it just works absolutely beautifully. And I think that it does make her a lot more of an engaging villain than she perhaps would be otherwise. 'Cause, I mean, the design's not really much of anything, but she's just such a bitch. And I mean, also particularly in the cutscene that I think is going to take place right at the end of our trip to Frozen here, actually. Like, not only is she insulting to Sora and the gang, she's insulting to her organisation partners as well. And honestly, I am here for that. Also, annoyingly, no, you cannot airstep this. There is another way round. I got confused and annoyed. I was just like, right, surely there's got to be a way that I can make this. There is not a way I can make this. I mean, theoretically, if I came back at a later point and I had like the double jump, I don't know whether I can't remember whether it's called double flight in this game or not, but like double flight and glide, then potentially, because then you've also got the fly motion extra jump, so potentially you could make that leap. But right now, it is not a thing that is within my capability to do. I tried. As you can see, I tried. But 'twas not to be, unfortunately. And eventually I did, you know, get the whole idea that this was not going to happen. I just thought I have to be really clever with this leap, and then it just no. Because I've noticed that we haven't picked up a treasure map. I can't actually remember whether I'm pretty sure there is a treasure map for the labyrinth. There's a treasure map for every area, so of course there'd be one for here, but hey! Exactly what I was looking for. And oh, funnily enough, there's the map! Oh, you see, it's like I planned this. It's like this was exactly what I expected to happen. I suppose it sort of was and sort of wasn't, because it has been a while now since I recorded this. So, yeah, I'm already at that point of just going, what happened here then? Because, you know, I'm just that type of I'm gonna have to go with it. I'm a Let's Player, like, seriously. Let's just go with the moniker. Why the hell not? Like, I'm just one of those types of people who are just like, yeah, let's just record all of it in one go, and then it's all finished, and I can move on to other things, and then it's just like, oh yeah, but I'm going to be doing the commentary bit on it for, like, ages afterwards. But then again, to be fair, this was my first playthrough of the game, so on the flip side of that, I was not going to sit around and wait to finish off Kingdom Hearts 3. Like, no, that was getting done as soon as was physically possible. Like, nothing was going to stop me on that one. But right here, we have the first time that we've ever actually come across Larxene's high-ranking nobodies. These are the ninjas. And they can be quite deadly. They dot around everywhere. They're sort of very flexible. They're quite cool, I do quite like them. I would still say that the most annoying high-ranking nobodies in the game are the snipers. Like, for some reason, they're just ultra-irritating in this game. It's ridiculous. I think it's because of the whole teleporting thingy and shooting at you from off screen that sort of gets my goat a bit with them. Because they're just surprisingly challenging. Also, I felt a little bit stupid for attacking that thing, well, flow motioning it when I did. Because my brain did go, oh god, what if there was a treasure chest that I missed? Thankfully, I do not believe that that was the case. That's basically just the way forward, and it is the only way forward. I suppose part of me was a little bit... Well, part of me wants to say a little bit disappointed that in general the routes to get out of here is very linear, but then the other part of me is quite grateful that it is quite linear, because otherwise, you know, this could have been a lot more infuriating than it ended up being. So I can live with a bit of frustration, just not a huge amount. And actually, I didn't well, I'm not the biggest fan of the music inside the labyrinth device, but I am noticing little bits and pieces within the music, like little melodies, which sound really close to little strains of songs from the actual score of Frozen. I could be wrong on that, but there were certain little tinklings. Like in this particular song, I keep hearing little bits of da 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 da. Like just there, which basically that's the start of Let It Go, the da 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 da, and so on and so forth. So it's things like that that I really wanted to see more of in the music of Kingdom Hearts. Obviously I didn't quite get that, but I did at least get part of my wishes of, you know, more musicaled up cutscenes. And in actual fact, in this very part, we are going to be getting a very musical cutscene. And it's going to make me very happy. It's going to annoy probably quite a few people. I mean, it sort of already has annoyed quite a few people. But it's something that I will talk more about in the next part, because if I recall correctly, my next part's slightly longer, I want to say. Yeah, slightly longer, but like 4 minutes. Although I don't think that that's the last part of Arendelle. Arendelle's quite long. So I'll talk more about it in the next part, because, you know, then we'll have had the scene. There'll be more time to sort of analyse the whole thing, and also it just means that I can enjoy it whilst it's here and move on with my life as anybody else would. You know, other than that, I'm just a sort of ludicrous man-child that just... I really like my Disney movies, guys, like, for the love of God, don't judge me. I mean, judge me if you want to, I really don't care. I ceased caring what other people think of me a very, very, very long time ago. Which is honestly why I can just do these things and just go, hey, we're alright. It'll do. Which is not necessarily the best way of thinking in terms of doing anything when you're trying to create entertainment. But on the flip side of that, as long as sort of you're having fun and feel like you're perhaps making a point, then you sort of should be able to, I suppose, make some progress in different things and make it feel like you've got a point of some description. Also, that is definitely a route of progress. I mean, this is sort of going to help us get to the exit, I think. Maybe? No? Yes? No? I don't really know at this point. But it's got a lot of those prize pods, and they really did not stand much of a chance. and we're doing all right about now. I think we're sort of slowly but surely making it towards the end of this very long labyrinth. It's all right. But yeah, as I was saying, I think there's a level of perfectionism that should be required, I suppose, when you're doing Let's Plays on the internet, because otherwise you're just creating drivel for your audience, at which point really nobody wants to listen to that. But equally, you can try and come up with interesting stuff as much as you want. Sometimes it's just not going to come, and you just have these sorts of moments where you just go, well, if I can at least make it through the part, whatever comes out of my gob, then that will have been progress made. And that is basically how I go with these things, because otherwise I would probably end up sitting here just trying to do the same part again and again and again, and just not having anything new to say. And wouldn't be fun for me, wouldn't be fun for you, so just avoid that like the plague. And oh, thank God, I love the fact that we've now got both Leaf Bracer and Second Chance. Whew, I feel a lot better. I'm pretty sure Once More's still here, but I can't remember when I get that. It feels slightly weird to be back in the whole string of getting those specific abilities based on level, rather than melding commands and dream eaters and all that jazz, because obviously that's the place I've been in with those particular abilities for a very long time, like over a year of, well, was it over a year? Certainly feels like it. Of my time was spent thinking of those particular abilities in those terms. So to finally not be thinking of them in those terms, it feels weird. Also, there is a bit of a fight here. It's not much of one. I honestly thought that there was going to be a bigger fight in this room. Like, it really does feel like it had the potential to be a boss fight arena. And then it just was not a boss fight arena. Which kinda sucks. But I suppose there is at least a little bit of Larxene and the Nobodies and the decor in here, because the rest of it is just very ice based. But you've got sort of the bottom of the Nobody symbol and a dagger, which is very much on brand for Larxene, which we were not necessarily getting before. So I suppose there's parts of this whole bit of the level where they did manage to pull it away from maybe being an Elsa dungeon type thing. But still, once we are up here, because this takes us to the top, and it looks quite pretty and glorious. There are three different sort of areas that we can go to. Straight ahead is the exit, and a way back down if you really want to. But then you've also got these other two pathways that have some goodies. One of them, I think, just has a fight at the end of it. Not any particularly amazing fight or any particularly challenging fight. It just has a fight. The other one, which is this one, basically just seems to be here for the lucky emblem. And was I really that blind? I think maybe I was really that blind. That's kind of ridiculous, but it's okay. I do wish there was maybe a little bit more to this room than that, but I'm pretty sure that that is it. Oh well, it's all good. Now I just need to make sure that I go to the other one. Yes, good. Thinking logically. So yeah, this is basically just a place to get experience points. Nothing more, nothing less. Just take it for what it is, really. It's a lot of the parasol ladies. Which, I mean, potentially could be more challenging for you than you'd expect, because, you know, obviously all of the projectiles getting in the way has the potential to be a nightmare for you, but honestly, these guys never really the most difficult of Heartless to truly deal with. And you know, since I have projectiles of my own, even better. Also, I really hate using magic with the form changes. Well, at least quite a few of them anyway, because they tend to just localize the attack in like a circle around you, rather than, you know, being an actual homing shot as like normal fire is, which sucks. But either way, there we go. That is the Labyrinth of Ice complete.
This must be the exit.
And yes, this is very clearly the exit. We get 2 small treasure chests. Oh, get to Damascus. This little elevator here will take us all the way back down to the beginning. Do not do what I am potentially about to do. Okay, good. Yeah, don't just sort of run off and leave the lift there if you've decided to go back down, because it will vanish and you'll have to go through the rest of the labyrinth again. So, I'd say leave now, come back later if you've missed something, which you probably have done, because I know I definitely have done. But thank God we're out of there, because that was a little bit of a drain on the morale, let's put it that way.
See her?
I think she might have gone up in that direction.
What? Okay, come on.
So, we are now properly further up on the North Mountain, and it looks even sort of prettier and more snowy, and I'm just really, really happy to have this delightful music back. Not sure quite why Larxene would put an exit in her labyrinth, but she did, and I mean, all power to her for doing so. I mean, thank you, Larxene. It was proved very helpful for escaping, but didn't necessarily make the most sense. But then equally, I suppose they kind of do need all of the 7 lights, and Zora is one of those. So, completely trapping him forever, not necessarily Master Xehanort's grand plan, because he knows that he ain't going to get much of a fight out of like Rapunzel and all that jazz. But yes, this bit we get to do some excellent climbing. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure that if proper rock climbers were able to do stuff like this, like just run up sheer wall faces, like, I think that somebody would be very, very happy, and somebody would be very, very rich. And yes, that was not hiding from me. That was just far too obvious where it was hiding away amongst all the prizes. You ain't getting away with that one. Now, I will say it's very easy to accidentally fall down during this section, so do just be a little bit careful, because you don't necessarily have all of the safety nets that you would perhaps want. And this particular jump that you're going to have to make, it's not hard. But as you can see, you can just fall off and slide all the way back down. Had I not, brilliantly managed to rescue myself there, I would have been all the way back down at the bottom and would have had to climb all the way back up. I mean, I'm already having to climb up most of the way, but it would have been worse. And more embarrassing at that, I suppose. But as it stands, it is okay. And it's particularly okay because I'm about to have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time, and I think we can all just sort of have a fun time together in about a couple of minutes' time or so. Because basically, once we have run all the way up here to the mountain ridge, one very clear lucky emblem, I will take that. We're going to go into one of the most iconic scenes in Frozen, and because it feels only right, I believe it's time for a good old bit of a Richie sing-along. The snow glows white on the mountain tonight, not a footprint to be seen. A kingdom of isolation, and it looks like I'm the queen. The wind is howling like this swirling storm inside. Couldn't keep it in, heaven knows I've tried. Don't let them in, don't let them see. Be the good girl you always have to be. Conceal, don't feel, don't let them know. Well, now they know. Let it go, let it go. Can't hold it back anymore. Let it go, let it go. Turn away and slam the door. I don't care what they're going to say. Let the storm rage on. The cold never bothered me anyway.
This way.
It's funny how some distance makes everything seem small, and the fears that once controlled me can't get to me at all. It's time to see what I can do to test the limits and break through. No right, no wrong, no rules for me. I'm free. Let it go, let it go. I am one with the wind and sky. Let it go, let it go. You'll never see me cry. here I stand, and here I'll stay. Let the storm rage on. I'm loving this. Are you loving this? My power flurries through the air into the ground. My soul is spiraling in frozen fractals all around. And one thought crystallizes like an icy blast. I'm never going back. The past is in the past. Let it go, and I'll rise like the break of dawn. Let it go, that perfect girl is gone. Here I stand in the light of day. Let the storm rage on. The cold never bothered me anyway. And thank you.
Wow. I don't know what we just saw, but wow.
We saw Let It Go, one of the most popular Disney songs
Elsa?
of all time, and it was...
And
Oh, it
a
was
lot of
magical,
happier,
and
too.
unfortunately now we're going to have Larksy come and ruin the fun, but hey,
Let's
it is
say
okay. What's not okay is that she's going to throw us back down the mountain, god
Please
damn
don't
her.
tell me that you're spying on her now.
Oh, Larkseen! Don't turn this around on us. You're following her.
Ooh, look at you get all sassy. Okay, I'll admit, Elsa is a person of interest to us. Maybe she's one of the 7 pure lights we need. The new 7 hearts. Gotta make sure, though. Fortunately, we're in the best position to tell. Can't pick out that special glimmer unless you're standing in the shadows. And maybe Elsa doesn't have it. I mean, just look how icy her palace is. Made of magic she forced herself to keep hidden until now. What if it's dark magic?
Elsa would never rely on the darkness.
Actually, it's still too early to call. Depends on how she sees it. If she believes her magic is darkness, that's what it will become. Accepting her power, whatever it is the only way she can set her heart free. So what will Elsa accept? Light or darkness? I know I want to know.
Well, good for you, but guess what? I won't let her fall to darkness.
It's her choice to make, not yours. You know, I'm starting to understand why she gave you the cold shoulder.
Larkseen!
You want to help her? Then stop trying to be her hero. Let her figure things out her own way.